Hello everybody, this is Purge coming at you with a shoutcast. This is a replay that I found from MLG Dallas between Root KiWiKaKi and IdrA. KiWiKaKi is spawning in the 2 o'clock position. IdrA is spawning in the 8 o'clock position. Both of these players performed really well at the MLG tournament. I don't want to give you any spoilers. Yeah, okay. Looking at 8 p.m. they are spamming their hearts away, as you can see. It's quite significant. 8 p.m. IdrA is probably going to do a nice macro build. This is one of the new maps. It's been modified from Lost Temple, which was really great because it was arguably a very unbalanced map. Used to have the high ledge right here, pretty much. This ramp didn't used to be here, and it was kind of a pain for Zerg to expand here because any Terran player could do a drop up here with a Thor and range attack your hatchery, which would most of the time result in you losing, unless you actually were super awesome at it, at defending. So, looking at some builds here, IdrA is looking like he's either going to go a hatch first, which I'm probably going to expect out of him since he's saving up his minerals. Maybe a 15 hatch or a 15 pool. But it looks like KiWiKaKi is going to be there for the pylon block if necessary, and this is just a pain in the ass to fight against. Yep, he's definitely going for hatch first, and he's going to be really mad. See this little probe hanging out down here. See if he throws down a pool immediately. That's probably what's going to happen. Yep, there it goes. KiWiKaKi himself is doing a pretty standard build. Maybe like a 13 gateway, something like that, with the gas to follow. That's pretty normal in any Protoss matchup. This pylon is really just, it really throws a kink in your plans. If you get lucky and he doesn't scout your position, it can really be beneficial for the Zerg player to drop that early hatchery. But I'm guessing that KiWiKaKi has that all planned out. If you notice, he spawned the north position first, and by the time he got to the second base, it was right when the Zerg would be expanding normally. So it's not a coincidence, really. I mean, oh, that is really frustrating for KiWiKaKi right there. He's just skirting along the outsides, and he actually got the hatch down. I would be mad about that one. So if you look at supply, KiWiKaKi is way ahead. Probably from probe count. Yes, there we go, 3 probes. IdrA's doing some scouting over here. But other than that, can't really see anything unusual about KiWiKaKi's play quite yet. From here, we're going to do some macroing, probably a lot of drone production. Usually get one or two pairs of Zerglings to kill that scouting probe, or possibly to stop any. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and to get a little bit of map control. Another nice thing about this map now is hugely open in the middle. I mean, this is just fantastic for any Zerg player. I mean, it was just really frustrating before. It was a lot of gaps like these, pretty close positions that were pretty easy to force field all the way, pretty much the whole center of the map was like that. Definitely very frustrating to deal with. And another thing I really like is that it's easy to take a third base. Before, you'd either have to choose, in Lost Temple, you'd have to choose between this gold expansion here, or you'd have to do a relatively far third over here. Very, very rarely did you ever see the corners be taken because they were actually islands. So, and looks like we have some scouting going on in here. This is about when you want to keep your drone alive as long as possible, see what kind of tech gets thrown down. But usually, lately I've been kind of seeing, usually they just throw it on the 3-gate and they say, you know what, I'm just going to do a 3-gate expand build, and there's nothing you can do about it. And we can see if that drone died. Yes, he did. That's probably the cost of a, I don't know, 75, I'm not sure what that is, maybe canceled extractor or something. Alright, so look at the army tab and the units tab, pretty freaking even, I'm gonna say. Zerglings being active, this guy's looking for proxy pylons, which is really smart. This is definitely a really good place to put them, it's pretty close. I could also see maybe like one of these areas are usually pretty good, but as you can see, it's already been scouted by the Fog of War. Putting an Overlord in position to do some scouting of a build, and this is interesting, is only doing a 2-gate expansion. Yep, there it is, 2-gate expansion. I've never seen one of those before, but it's pretty safe considering you can tell, you know that IdrA is a huge macro player. So, wow, also very interesting. Really fast +1 melee. Looks like he's going to defend any 4-gate possibilities just with Zerglings, and this is a really good way to do it. Gives you, I mean, Zerglings only do 5 damage, so if you increment that by 1, you have a 20% increase to your damage, which is huge. For any upgrades, 20% that's really high. Most of the time you're getting around 10 to 15% increases in damage with upgrades. So yeah, the only thing that would really cut this build up is definitely +1, fast +1 weapons with lots of zealots that would shut you down really fast. He's bringing down some rocks. He's going to be looking into expanding soon, as he knows that KiWiKaKi does indeed have his base. As you can see, he scouted out the Zergling. And here he comes in, looking with his Overlord. He's going to look down for anything nasty like this hidden this hidden Stargate over here, which he is most definitely not going to catch with his Overlord. So yeah, really awesome position on this right here. I mean, the chances of you scouting that with an Overlord before you see it and then react to it with any anti-air units is it's just not going to happen. Let's see the timing on this. Nope, not really push. He's just looking for some harass with those lings. That +1's going to be done pretty soon, and that's really going to tear up these sentries even faster. So KiWiKaKi did some malnerding, which is our Maynard, excuse me. Transfers all of his workers down as the Nexus pops, and as you can see, he has absolutely great probe counts. I mean, IdrA's doing great, but KiWiKaKi has some really good saturation right now. Got some Overlord speed saturation, which is really smart. It's an upgrade that I often forget to get, honestly, and it can be very troublesome when you actually get attacked, because you might leave 1 or 2 stray Overlords out in front, and when they do their 4-gate push, and then all of a sudden you have a lot of trouble. I mean, dropping 2 Overlords, you're supply capped, and then you're going to get dumped, because that's when you got to build all your units. He's doing some poking with this initial Void Ray, which is pretty smart. He's going to follow it up with the Phoenix, and he's probably going to try to snipe some Queens immediately after this. It's a pretty popular technique. Run in, charge up a Void Ray on a Queen, and if there's only 1 Queen, just lift it up with the Phoenix, and bam, free Void Ray kill. So, being very proactive with these Zerglings, which is great. Destroying some rocks, and premeditated, dropping some creep over here. So, KiWiKaKi is just macroing up like normal, getting the Robo facility. This is most likely going to be for a quick observer, in case we have any burrowed roaches or anything. I mean, from a Protoss perspective, this is how much you need to scout to play the game. I mean, he literally doesn't need to see anything. All he needs to know is timing expansions, and that's pretty much it. Now he's going to snipe some Overlords. Oh yeah, that's another reason you got Overlord speed, so you can actually attempt to run away. But he's definitely going to lose a couple here. Free Queen. That Queen's going to get dropped. This Queen's going to get dropped. It's going to be tough. He's got Spire going down. I don't know if the Spire's the best idea. Might really need some maybe some Hydralisks, but even then, those get dropped by Phoenix really fast. Okay, good, he does have Spore Crawlers. I was kind of worried about that, because, I mean, how many Queens has he lost so far? Wow, holy crap, he is getting rocked right now. Doing some counterattacks, really smart, and as you, dude, KiWiKaKi was totally not watching his units. If he was paying attention down here, he would have been much better off. He just lost so many sentries. And these don't even have upgrades. Those Zerglings do have upgrades, so this is IdrA's pretty much only chance to come back from this. Building a lot of Zerglings, building more Queens. He's got Spore Crawlers out. This is actually doing not too bad of damage. Another really important thing to do when you get the Zerglings in the base is to not leave them idle like this. I mean, you got to dance with them, like these 3 are doing right now. You dodge. That's not going to work. He's got vision in that, but oh, you could distract him. Nope, those are going to drop him. But if you dance with them, I mean, avoid the Zealots, run away from them, try to pick off drones. The longer you do that, I mean, it's pretty easy to Zerg macro while you're dancing Zerglings around in someone's base. So it's really pretty reasonable to try to do that. Would have pushed KiWiKaKi off of his macro, or maybe made him slip up in other areas. I mean, their APM is just ridiculous. Pretty good expansions going on here, doing a little bit of saturation, but IdrA is noticeably behind right now. I mean, look how much minerals he had to drop on Spore Crawlers here, and look, Spore Crawler here. He just killed his gas line, potentially. He is, I mean, this is a really solid build against Zerg, and I've had to deal with it myself. I mean, just getting five Phoenix out like that, I mean, really useful. I mean, you pay for 1 Stargate. How many Overlords has he picked off so far? How many Queens has he picked off so far? And even more drones. I mean, these Phoenix are just totally paying for themselves. I mean, units lost is just completely not in IdrA's favor. So we have more gateways going down, finally starting those upgrades. Lots of pylons. I mean, IdrA is really good. Could have a tough time to pull back from this game so far. Going for some Spire Tech. There we go, Corruptors. Corruptors is probably his best bet against Phoenix. They're actually a really solid counter. Phoenix do 5 damage times 2, which means armor is doubly effective for reducing that damage. And Corruptors have really, really high armor. They have armor of 2 base. That means these Phoenix do 6 damage. That's a 40% reduction right off the bat, which is huge. So Corruptors don't even need to do that much damage, and they just stop all the damage. Not to mention, Corruptors are pretty much Zerg's best option against Colossus, and Colossus are ridiculously good against Zerg. So here we go, Force Field blocking all those Banelings, mostly nullifying their efforts, and see how the army tab is going. Not very good. I'm gonna expect a GG awfully soon. As soon as we get some reinforcements. Yep, there it is. IdrA GG's, and that is the end of the game. Pretty much just a really nice transition from KiWiKaKi out of that quick harass and a fairly early expand with a moderately safe 2-gate. IdrA maybe could have done some pressure there. I mean, if he would have spawned a bunch of Zerglings then and maybe attacked right off the bat, he might have been able to do something, but because KiWiKaKi went the slightly risky expand build, it really paid off when he transitioned these Phoenix Void Rays, and from there he just played a pretty standard ground game. And yeah, all that harass kept IdrA down, and that is why he won that game. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe for any future videos that I'm going to release. Thank you.